I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On Tuesday, February 4th, the 7th grade girls basketball team played Greenfield and lost. The score is 28-14. Shout out to Aiden for good rebounds.
Hi, Ms. Robinson. As an honorary team member, I would like to report that on Tuesday, February 4th, the 8th grade Lady Falcons lost to Greenfield Cougars.
Shout out to Oakley Wood.
You're scoring 9 of the 11 points.
Good job.
Good job, Lady Falcons.
Yesterday, we went against Belzer, and we did good. We won. Even though we lost, we did not lose. We lost, but we won 6 out of 8 of our matches.
Henry Bustamante and Lucian Tumba and Crazy Botejua and Piranha Botejua, Moses something, Donovan and Dylan got a forfeit, so we were really out there putting that work in. Honestly, you feel me?
They just had more people than us. That's the
Yeah,
only
we lost
reason
by
they won.
forfeits, like it was cool, like
We was
still,
outnumbered.
Yeah. I'm not serious though.
Support Northview Avid by going to Fazoli's on West 86th Street from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Thursday, February 20th. 20% of all sales come back to Northview Avid. Help the Tate Mall right here. Help. He's an Avid
also
student.
help the rest of Avid too.
Yeah,
Can't forget
that-
about the rest of Avid.
You know what? But the Tate Ball is more important.
Go Northview Avid.
Crazy, do the mumble like a crazy with
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom.
I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
A slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my
The time has come to reaffirm our enduring spirit, to choose our better history, to carry forward that precious gift, that noble idea passed on from generation to generation, the God-given promise that all are equal, all are free, and all deserve a chance to pursue their full measure of happiness.
Slavery ended, but equality was not immediate. Some of the major setbacks for most formerly enslaved citizens is that they were denied a formal education and the right to own property.
Because they lacked the ability to read and write, many formerly enslaved individuals were forced into the system of sharecropping. Sharecropping is when a landowner allows a tenant to use his land in return for a share of crops produced on the land.
However, a lack of education prevented many sharecroppers from being able to prove how badly they were being taken advantage of by their landowners. Many worked all season long only to break even. For many, sharecropping became an extension of slavery.
Reconstruction was over. Whites began to reassert their power over blacks, politically, legally, and economically. And nowhere was this change more crushing than for those blacks who were farmers, most of whom were sharecroppers.
Owners controlled their little worlds. So there was no police power, there was no federal power, there was no state power that actually made a difference on the ground. So you had relations of dependency built around obedience and submission. That was the ideology of the culture of slavery, obedience and submission.
Here was the black man, having very limited education, not knowing how to figure and to read, with the books being kept by the white man who is giving him his supplies to start a crop, and likewise owned the land. When the black man ended up at the end of the year and brought his crop in, the white man immediately arranged to outfigure him.
The man would take your cotton, and then the man at the store, you had credit, he run the books up on you, so you didn't have nothing. You work a whole year and hand pick 40 bales of cotton and come out with nothing.
But some leaders arose to help create a better future. Booker T. Washington, the most influential black educator in America at the turn of the 20th century, believed that industrial education was the means by which African Americans could escape the trap of sharecropping and build a future for themselves.
He helped found the Tuskegee Institute, a blacks-only school, in 1881. Tuskegee grew in size and prestige over the years and still exists today as Tuskegee University.
Tuskegee University is the second oldest historically black college in Alabama and one of the largest in the United States. Founded in 1881 as the Normal School for Colored Teachers at Tuskegee, the school quickly became a driving force in the developing industrial education movement under the leadership of noted educator Booker T. Washington, its first president. In its early decades, Tuskegee Institute made significant contributions to agriculture and improving the lives of rural black farmers. Tuskegee has played an integral role in Alabama history and education. It pioneered the movable school, served as the training ground for the Tuskegee Airmen, and students and faculty were heavily involved in the civil rights movement. In addition to its many notable alumni and academic developments, it was the first HBCU to have a marching band. Tuskegee University was recently ranked as the top black college in Alabama and the 6th nationally.
Nanny Helen Burroughs ran the National Trade and Professional School for Women and Girls, which was one of the most successful schools for women in the U.S. It was later renamed for her.
Check it out!
Are you ready to go? Yes, I'm ready to go.